Wow. What the heck just happened? Ladies and gentlemen, the Eagles are 8-1. They beat the Dallas Cowboys. They are going into the bye week. And let me tell you something. I need a bye week. I need a bye week now. I need a bye week right now. The end of that game, the last 5 minutes of that game felt like an eternity. That was the longest fourth quarter I have ever experienced in my entire life. I mean, what was that? What was that? I don't even know what to say. I mean, I have not seen many crazy endings in football games like that one. The Eagles win. The Eagles win. They are 8-1. They defeat the Dallas Cowboys, the stinking Dallas Cowboys, and boy, does it taste so sweet. I'm trying to recollect my thoughts and embrace this moment and take it all in and soak it in, but that was the craziest game I have seen in a long time. I am happy they got the win, but let me tell you something, man. That was bad for my health. Like, the Eagles win, my health loses. All right, I'm going to go to the doctors tomorrow, and I'm going to tell them the Eagles have sent me over the edge because that final 46 seconds, I didn't know 46 seconds could feel like 24 hours. Oh, my gosh, man. The Eagles win. Let's go to the final drive because, let's be honest, this was not perfect by any means. And if you're one of those people that come in there and say, oh, well, it was a good game and they won. No. All right, they need to fix a lot of things in this game. We'll get to the good. There was good for sure. The offense flowed. They were fantastic, right in rhythm. Here's a positive. Jalen Hurts played his best game of the year, in my opinion, because he didn't turn the ball over. He didn't put himself in suboptimal positions. He didn't take too many bad risks other than one deep early in the game where he threw it into double coverage in the end zone. Jalen Hurts was fantastic today. There's your positive. Now, let's go to my mental health degrading. So the last 46 seconds of the game, because I was trying to write this down. Because I'm like, there's no way I'm going to remember all this crap. 46 seconds ago, let's talk about how this unfolded. The first play, the Cowboys get it back. Dak throws it to Michael Gallup at the 50. Okay, great. Incomplete. Wait, pass interference on James Bradbury. And to double down, Bradbury is hurt. So now the Eagles are down a corner. Okay, next play, 1st and 10 from the 50. They complete it. Okay. Try to keep them in front. The clock's running. Wait. Roughing the passer on Hassan Reddick. Even tried to help Dak up. My bad, official. I got you. And then 15 more tacked onto that. Now Darius Slay's hurt. Now your other corner's hurt. The Eagles have no timeouts. They can't stop anything because they wanted to call a challenge early in the fourth quarter on a quarterback sneak that was already a penalty. I mean, this game is absolute chaos. And then after that, 1st and 10 from the 25, a 14-yard completion. Now you're on the 11. Wait, another penalty on the Philadelphia Eagles. This one's encroachment on Jalen Carter up to the 6. Now a false start. It gets pushed back. I'm swinging on the pendulum at this point. I don't know what to do. I'm like, are they about to collapse? Are they about to have the biggest choke I've ever seen? Back to the 11. Dak Prescott goes back. He's sacked by Josh Sweat for 11 yards. No huddle. No timeouts for the Cowboys. They run up to the line. Dak throws an incomplete to the end zone. And now we're on the last play of the game. Wait, we think it's the last play of the game. 3rd and 21 and a delay of game. Pushes it to a 3rd and 26. And Dak throws to CeeDee Lamb. He catches it about 5-6 yards out of the end zone. I'm like, please get this man down. Please get a man down. If he goes into that end zone, it's over for me. It's over for me. I'm done. I'm retiring. I'm calling up the boss. I'm retiring if he goes in the end zone there. But somehow the Eagles stop him short and they win this football game. And I'm losing my sanity in this fourth quarter because you're up after AJ and Devontae go back-to-back on touchdowns in the third quarter. The Eagles needed somebody to make a defensive play. And if there's one player you want to make a defensive play on this team, who do you call? His name is Brandon Graham. He hasn't been playing many snaps, but he is here. He makes a big sack on Dak Prescott. And then on the next play, Brandon Graham gets to him again with Jalen Carter. The Eagles were the first ones to make the big defensive play, and that is why they won this game, but they made it way, way too damn close. Eagles get the ball back, right? You have Dak Prescott. They say baseball is a game of inches. Well, football must be a freaking game of centimeters, okay? Because Dak Prescott, they score a touchdown. First, they score a touchdown. That one's nullified. Then they go back, they score again. Dak Prescott on a 2-point conversion runs outside, and he gets in. But again, his foot out of bounds by inches. This was a wild game, ladies and gentlemen. This is one you remember for a long time. That makes it a 5-point game. Remember, the Cowboys neglected to go for a field goal earlier. And what happened on that play? Instead of going for 3, it was 28-17. They could have made it an 8-point game. They try to go for a touchdown on 4th down. The dude is across the line. They call touchdown. I'm screaming at the TV. No, he's short. I want to see the replay. And his left knee taps down before. I mean, you want a way to stress somebody out on a Sunday evening before work. This is a beautiful way. Take notes of this game. I mean, this is crazy, man. Game of inches, ladies and gentlemen. And then the Eagles get the ball back. They go 3 and out because they go with a DeAndre Swift run. And I'm tired of them doing the same damn run inside zone every single drive. I mean, I don't have much to complain about with the offense today. And Brian Johnson coached a much better game. The Eagles actually scored inside the red zone. They had 3 tutties in the red zone. Thank you. They got more creative. But Brian Johnson, you got to stop with these inside zones on 1st down. You know it's going nowhere with DeAndre Swift. And then they go and Jalen Hurts scrambles. He gets down. He's limping around. He's injured. 3rd down, 3rd and 3. They throw it down the sideline to AJ way over the head. Then they have to punt it back. It's this close. And keep in mind how much I'm saying this close in this 4th quarter. Almost blocked. Almost blocked. It would have been a disaster. Oh, did I mention that DeAndre Swift runs into the freaking shoulder of AJ Brown? He ran into the damn shoulder. He fumbled the ball. At that point, you may as well just bury me tonight. If the Eagles, matter of fact, screw the last plays of the game. If they would have lost because DeAndre Swift ran into the shoulder of AJ Brown, you call it there. I'm done. I'm done, man. Eagles win, Cowboys lose. That's my takeaway. All right. What else do you want me to say, man? What else do you want me to say? This game took years off of my life. This game should not have come down to this. Now, I will say the Eagles defense, again, was the ones who made the big plays. They had a turnover on downs earlier, a 1st and goal from the 7 because Kevin Byard, as much as I enjoyed that trade, what the hell are you doing? You get up, the officials are looking around, you push them right in the chest. 15-yarder, 1st and goal from the 7. I'm like, oh, crap, here we go. And then the Eagles defense comes up with 4 big stops. Again, the 4th down play, the guy's left knee goes down before the ball gets across. Unbelievable game. Unbelievable chaos. They say division games are nuts. Well, this one exceeded expectations. Welcome into the A to Z postgame show. RB here, guys. Give me your instant raw reactions from that game. I will go to the chat now. I'm sorry. I haven't even been looking at it. I'm trying to gather myself here because I can't believe the way that game went down. And I'm so happy that the Eagles won. They are 8-1. You get this win. Now you have a bye week. You're now, 2.5 games up on Dallas. And now you're sitting here, or what is it, 3 games? 2.5 games, whatever. I can't even think right now. I can't even think. Now you have a bye week to rest. Then you go into the gauntlet and you're feeling better because you got this win. You got the division win. This could matter for the conference. This was such a huge game. I thought they were handing it back on a silver platter. I don't know how to judge this team. What do we say, man? Well, are we happy? Are we mad? How do we feel? Because let's be honest, the Eagles tried to give that game away. Oh, my gosh, man. Jalen Hurts in the first half gets landed on. Looks like he's limping around. We don't know if he's going to be all right. He comes out in the second half. First drive, boom, boom, boom. A.J. Brown, easy touchdown. Man, oh, man. I mean, the Eagles were trailing at halftime, 17-14. They come out. I'm sorry, it wasn't AJ on the first drive of the second half. That was Devontae Smith. Sorry, it feels like it happened 2 years ago with the way that this freaking game went down. It was a 29-yard touchdown pass. Devontae Smith was pretty good in this game. He had 3 catches, but it feels like he had more, 51 yards and a touchdown. A.J. Brown did not go over the 125 mark, but who the hell cares? He goes 66 yards and a touchdown. Dallas Goedert with 50. You see what happens? You see what happens, Brian Johnson, when you use your weapons? When you use everybody? Swift only had 43 yards on 18 carries, but at least he was trying to keep them honest. At least I'll give Brian Johnson credit for sticking with the run. Okay, the offense is not what I was worried about in this game. And Jalen Hurts, 17 for 23 with 207 and 2 touchdowns. I will give Dak Prescott credit as well. He took a couple late sacks. But you know what? You got to tip your cap. Dak Prescott played one hell of a game. His defense let him down. 29 for 44, 374, and 3 touchdowns, no picks. Nobody really made those crucial turnovers. We talked about, the Eagles being the ones to give it up, top 5 in the league, and Dallas was top 5 in takeaways. But at the end of the day, the Eagles did not make those brutal mistakes that they have in prior weeks. Eagles had 0 turnovers in this game. 0 turnovers in this game, man. Wow. And the Cowboys fumble was at the end of the game, I believe, so it didn't even matter. Like, no turnovers. This was such a weird game. Look at the time of possession, 30-18 to 29-42. Eagles and Cowboys both had 10 penalties. Everything was so parallel in this game. 7 yards per pass, 6.8 yards per pass. Eagles were 7 for 14 on third. The Cowboys were 6 for 15 on third. I mean, damn. Eagles 2 for 2 on fourth. And shout out to the brotherly shove. Teams hate it. They can't do it. The Eagles even did it late in this game to get out of the damn end zone. I mean, you just can't. What's more automatic than every damn lineman getting behind Jalen Hurts and pushing him 5 yards? Nothing. It's the best play in the world. It is the most automatic play I've ever seen in sports history. My gosh, man. Wow, what a game. Cowboys went 333 in the air, 73 on the ground. Eagles actually surpassed 100 on the ground. Don't know how they did it. Couple late big runs. They had one play, as I mentioned earlier in the first half, where they did a little shovel pass to DeAndre Swift. I wish they would utilize that more. I wish they would put guys in motion. Even late in this game, when A.J. Brown got his touchdown, what did the Eagles do on that play? They didn't just keep everybody stationary, right? They go on a play action, and they did a lot more of that today. They sent A.J. out into the flat, throw it to him, and again, what do I say every week? A.J. Brown can make plays after catching the football. He is not one of these guys who's just going down. No, he is absolutely unstoppable. Give him the ball, let him make a play. That is exactly what he did. And he punched one in for the Philadelphia Eagles. Couple big drops by the Cowboys receivers. I thought Dak played really, really well. Goddard had a nice catch early in this game. Eagles were going for it on fourth from the beginning. I mean, 4th down on your own, 30 or whatever it was in the first quarter, and then Dallas Goedert 4th and 3, the toe tap. Unbelievable, man. What a game. Give me one word to describe that game in the chat. How would you characterize that game? How are we feeling? Let's see. We should have won by more, but 8-1 can't complain. Mark says they find the way to win. Vicky says one word, 8-1. Yes. With the bye week, I hope they get it together. Second half was played perfectly. Our defense looked composed. Our offense delivered great win. I don't know if I'd say great win, but it is one of those muddy wins. The defense came up and made big plays. I know they were banged up that last drive, but holy crap, man. The way that game went down to the final plays, that should not happen. I mean, Sean Desai has been exposed a little bit these past couple weeks. Overall, I think he's done a good job, but a lot of improvement. Needed. I think they need some help in the secondary. Now the deadline's passed, but hopefully these guys can tighten up a little bit, because holy smokes, man. You let the Cowboys, it felt like every time somebody scored a touchdown, the other team answered immediately. It felt like they kept retaliating. Eagles score, here comes the Cowboys. Eagles score, Cowboys score, Cowboys score, Eagles. It felt like they just kept going back and forth, and it felt like this game was never going to end. I mean, there were a couple bad plays. I mean, the Eagles are missing tackles or letting these guys open. Don't know why. I don't know what happened to the Sean Desai saw earlier this year, who was not afraid to send a blitz. He sent a blitz tonight on that 4th down play where the guy came up short at the goal line. And what happened? Dak was forced to throw the ball quickly. It put him in a bad situation. And there you go. I don't know why they don't send more pressure. They have the guys to do it up front. They have the guys to do it up front. Dak got flipped. Yeah, I forgot about that too. There's so much to happen in this game. Derek says epic win. Jamie says heart attack. Steven says scary, intense, overwhelming, few. That's a good word, Cameron. Few. Phew. Sheesh. That's my word. Damn. Damn's my word. Damn. Why'd they have to do that to us? Dell Fly goes 5 from Virginia. Shout out to Virginia in the chat. Thomas says defense needs to be better. Mary says scary. Jake says I'm going to need a therapist after the game. Mark says drained. That's a great word. Call out sick tomorrow, man. Use a PTO day. PTO day, because damn it, the Eagles did it to you. Mark says refs need to back off. I don't know what the refs are doing in this game, but usually that's the same reaction we have. Andy says defense is sus. Ponce says even Dak was forced to lean back. AJ says roller coaster. Bye can't come at a better time. I agree. Kathleen says I need oxygen. I need air. I need air. What was that? If you are one of those people that have, game day parties and you had all the snacks and the assortments out and you're drinking beers and you're throwing them back, you're probably throwing up in the toilet right now. You're probably like, damn, what the hell did I just witness? I mean, it has been 30 minutes, I think, 20, 30 minutes, and I can't even calm down after that game. Shout out to BG, 1.5 sacks. I mean, he has to be one of the players of this game because he finally stepped up. He has had a quiet season, made some big plays. Again, Carter, Davis up front started to get going in that second half. Fletch got banged up a little bit. You got to hope Bradbury's okay. You have to hope Slay's okay. I mean, you have no timeouts again in the fourth quarter, and you can't stop the clock, and you're throwing any bodies in there trying to stop these guys. Sean Desai looks confused. Oh, man. I will say, for as much hype as the Dallas defense had coming into this game, with the way Deron Bland has been playing, with the way Stephon Gilmore has been playing, they can't shine the Eagles' shoes. Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown and Dallas Goedert, they are no match. They are no match. For some reason, Dak Prescott plays his best freaking football against the Eagles every time. CeeDee Lamb has had a heck of a year. He had almost 200 yards today. Ferguson with 91, but it was not enough. It was not enough. Tim in the chat says stressful. Ponce, shout out to the rookie guard. Shout out to Tyler Steen. If you ever thought that the importance of Tyler Steen would show in this game the way that it did, you're lying to yourself. Tyler Steen with the game-winning fumble recovery. Again, can somebody please explain to me what the heck happened on that play? I mean, I'm looking up. I'm like, okay, right? Let the clock run, et cetera, et cetera. I see DeAndre Swift. I see AJ crossing over. I'm like, what's going on here? Boom. Swift, he got his bell rung, loses the ball. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're not going to do this to us. The Cowboys just turned it over on the 29. I'm like, please, please. That would have been absolutely brutal. That would have been brutal. Even it showed Brandon Graham after the play. He's in shock. He's in shock. I think that this was the biggest win of the year because, again, you're getting ready for the gauntlet. You're going into the bye 8-1, feeling confident. And if you would have lost, if you would have slipped that one up to the Dallas Cowboys, there would not have been much recovering for a long time from that game. Just to be quite honest with you. It's very eerie how close this game was in a lot of ways. But it came down to the final couple drives, and wow, man. Wow. Eagles put together some good drives in this game, I will say, in terms of clock management. right? Early in this game, they had like an 11 play, 8-minute drive, I think it was, to start the game. Trying to find it here. It was 8 minutes, 13 plays, 77 yards. The Eagles put together an 11 play, 6-minute drive. They put together an 11 play, 87 yard, 6-minute drive. So they put together some really good drives in this game. And let's see how many possessions did they even have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the last one is kind of quick. So really like 8, 9 possessions. You had to capitalize on your opportunities in this game. And man, too close for comfort. Mark says the ball was uncatchable. I wish AJ could have had another 125. Let's see. Brian says flag was fly from football town. Bellevue, Ohio being 8-1, not playing our best football is a blessing. Yeah, it is, but at the same time, it could be a curse because the Eagles need, they need to wake up here. They need to get into that rhythm and play their best ball, because if you do this against Kansas City, it's going to be hard to win a game. If you do this against San Fran or Buffalo, it's going to be hard to win that game. Now today, the Seahawks got absolutely manhandled by the Ravens, same way that the Lions did last week. They don't scare me. The Niners have been looking pretty faulty. So right now, it looks like Eagles and Cowboys may be the top two in the NFC. And for the Eagles to go out there and get this first one at the link, it was huge, man. It was huge. I mean, talk about just how much this game was this close in so many ways. The Cowboys are probably pulling their hair out. If that guy gets in the end zone on that first touchdown, if Dak doesn't step out of bounds, they end up kicking a 3. It's tied up, completely different game. And sometimes that's just the way it bounces, man. Sometimes that's just the way it falls. But one of the more wild games in recent memory. I want to ask the chat, on a scale from 1 to 10, now that you're going into the bye 8-1, and again, you have 4 tough games coming up after this, how confident are you after seeing the way they won this game, last week against Washington, very close? Some of these wins have been very, very, very tight. How do you feel about this team? How confident are you in this team after some of these prior wins on a scale from 1 to 10? 10 being you're very confident, the utmost confidence in this team to win and beat these teams coming up. 1 is I'm not confident at all. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on that. So give me your thoughts in the chat. And before I give you my rating, before I read some of these out, let me go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsor of today's show, BetMGM. Enjoy all your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. Sign up with the code ATOZPA and receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to parlay selection features, live betting options, player props, and daily boosted odds specials. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matter more than ever. So find out why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks. Sign up today with the bonus code ATOZPA and get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. I finally was wrong. I thought AJ was going over 100. He was at, I think, 83.5 today. He went under by a little bit, but hey, still had a touchdown, still contributed. And guess what? I'm taking him in 2 weeks. I still think AJ's going to be the best receiver in the league because that is what he is. He is the best receiver in the league. Some of the plays he made today, I mean, they had to hold him. They had to throw him around. They couldn't stop him. Speaking of holding, how about that guy holding Dallas Goedert's arm? Is Dallas Goedert okay? Did we get an update on that? Dallas Goedert. And part of it was Goddard's fault. He's trying to turn around and continue to stiff arm. It's like, dude, you're about to go out of bounds. You know these Cowboys are going to try to get a little bit dirty there. Just let it go. But he did it. Guy twisted his arm. He went walking back to the locker room. Did not look good. You have to hope this Eagles team can stay healthy, man. You have to hope they can stay healthy. But let's go ahead and read out some of these ratings. I would say my confidence level right now, especially with these games coming up, has to be around like a 7.5, maybe an 8, because I think there's been way too many close calls. But then again, they end up going on a drive to usually win these games. And, you know, the cliche saying is good teams find a way to win. And that's what the Eagles have done somehow, even if it literally, you know, makes you lose brain cells. So I would probably say around 7.5 to 8 is my score. But let's see. We have a 7.5 from Rich, a 10 out of 10, 10, 8, 1, 0, 8, 9, 10. JDC says 8. Ryan Rose says 9. Kathy says 9. Steven says 7. This Eagles team isn't blowing anyone out, but they find ways to win. Much different than last year. What do you attribute to that? Why do you think they can't blow teams out? Because again, it feels like they have more talent than last year. It feels like, they have the system in place, another year of experience. But before, I felt like it was Jalen Hurts not being on top of his game, maybe dealing with injury. Now I just think it's inconsistency week to week when it comes to the game planning and the style. Because again, I don't think James Bradbury and Darius Slay should look this bad. Maybe I'm by myself here. I don't think they should look this bad. You go out, you pay those guys top dollar. Early in this game, you have Eli Ricks matched up on CeeDee Lamb for a good chunk of the game, like first quarter, second quarter. They ended up making some adjustments, but you got to put your top dogs on these guys, even if they're moving CeeDee around. So, man. Earlier in the year, it felt like Sean Desai was the more strengthened, coordinator. It felt like he was more shored up, and Brian Johnson needed to figure out his path. And now it feels like it flipped a little bit. Brian Johnson started to figure some things out, put the puzzle together, and now Sean Desai is up in the air. So I don't know, man. Let's see. We have a 8 in the chat. Andy says they're getting the job done, and 8. Rich says OC was very good today, his best game. I agree with that. I think today was his best performance, and I'm going to go out and say that this was Jalen Hurts' best performance, not because he had the best numbers, not because he had the best stats, but Jalen Hurts could not afford to turn the ball over in this game, and I don't feel like he put his team in a volatile situation. I feel like Jalen Hurts went out there, he did what he was asked to do, and he did not, other than that one he threw to AJ in the end zone, he did not throw really any bad passes today. I don't think he made any bad decisions. I thought he just stayed willing. He stayed locked in, and he just moved this team down the field. Even with the defense trying to give it up the way they were, Jalen Hurts went out there and he executed, and I thought he played a clean game today. Let's see. Steven says 7 because the Eagles team isn't blowing it out. They're finding ways to win. Need to clean up the secondary. Let's see. Our birds are winning in spite of the OC, says Pont. Rich says our secondary needs to clean it up. Let's see. Rich says I still don't like play calling. Pont says you're right, RB. We need more from Slay, Bradbury, and shout out to Eli Ricks for not losing his cool. Jordan says secondary is doing great, but the play calling is not. Pont says Hurts gave AJ a shot at that pass. I don't know. It was a tough one, but he did try to throw it, deep, and they took a shot. They took a shot on. I can't say I'm mad at that. Where do you think the biggest weakness on this team is? Where do you think the Eagles need to look and maybe give a couple guys different opportunities? Because right now, the secondary to me does not look that strong. Slay, Bradbury, Blankenship. I mean, he had a nice play there on that goal line one. Nice coverage there. But there's been times in these games where I'm like, Reed, you got to step up. Kevin Byard, I think they just need some more time to mesh with Kevin Byard. But, man, I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's talent or scheme. Talent or play calling. Like, it feels like, again, I'm looking at where these guys are lined up. And I'm looking pre-snap, and they're playing 15 yards off again. Why are they not up pressing at the line of scrimmage? Why are they not hitting these guys off the line? I don't understand. It feels like Dak Prescott hikes the ball. Eagles are only rushing 4, by the way, and Dak looks around. Oh, I don't have my first or second guy open here. Let me just throw it in the flat because nobody is coming up to try to apply any pressure. That's how I feel right now watching this team. That's how I feel, man. Mark says they seem to make plays when it counts the most. Derek says secondary. Yeah, I agree. I think the secondary needs some help. I think they need some help. And maybe it is just the play calling, but who knows? Who knows? All I know is that was a tough game. It took a lot off the mental. It took a lot. It took a lot to win that game. Way more than it should have. Those final drives, just the penalties. How many did the Eagles even finish with in this game? Let's see. They had 10 penalties and 10 for the Cowboys. That's right. They had the same amount. Wow. Wow. Oh, wow. I mean, Nick Sirianni's fired up. They used that challenge. They used a timeout. You can't burn a timeout like that in big time games, Definitely could have used that timeout when Slay went down and you didn't have it. Amy says, I think they played a great game. Derek says they'll get it together during the bye week. That will be a good opportunity to refresh. Absolutely. By the way, if you guys are in here, if you're on Facebook, hit that share button. If you're on YouTube, hit the like button. Subscribe to the show. Help us continue to grow as we make this content. Ponce says, Slay Bradbury better play up on the wide receivers. Joe says, Jalen Hurts could have gotten the first down with 2 minutes left. 3rd and 7, ran the ball as if the Eagles got the first down and worked their way down the field. Dallas would not have gotten the ball. Trying to think back to that point. I'll be honest with you, Joe. I can't get my mind off the final drive where there's penalty, and, the Eagles are trying to gift them this game. First off, that's probably more of a reflection on Dallas, right? Like the Eagles were trying to give you the game. Eagles were trying to give you the game, and the Cowboys are the Cowboys. And, even though I don't really have much room to brag after this game, the Cowboys stink, okay? They're not as good as the Eagles. They're a good team, but they're not as good as the Philadelphia Eagles. And I love it. I love it. What are the Cowboy fans going to say? What are they going to say after this game? Oh, we should have won. Oh, this should have happened. Oh, we were an inch away. No, you didn't win. You're not as good as the Philadelphia Eagles. The playoffs will run through Philadelphia. Okay, you'll be out there on wild card weekend fighting for your life, probably losing to the Niners again. Meanwhile, the Eagles will be home, drinking some beers, getting ready to play. Chilling, resting. Let's go. It's so funny how the Dallas fans disappear. They disappear when they don't win. They disappear. What a wild game, man. What a wild game. Give me some more thoughts in the chat. We continue to break it down here on the A to Z post-game show. We're here live, halftime post-game, every single game. Man, oh man. I mean, as much as I'm complaining about the defense, they did hold them to what? 6 points in the second half? Dallas didn't score in the third. Eagles had 2 touchdowns. Yeah, Cowboys only had 6 points in the second half. And it felt like Dak played one of his best games. And yeah, man, they still got it done. And you know what's crazy too is that Cam Jurgens will be coming back. A couple other players will be coming back. They need to get healthy. They need to get healthy. Eagles are 8-1. Despite what we say, despite what we think, 8-1. 8-1. They have a play here from Howie Roseman, or a clip from Howie Roseman. He literally runs down the sideline, pumping the fist. Howie Roseman wants a damn Super Bowl. He wants another one. He wants another one. And I'm looking at the total yardage as well. Cowboys had over 400 yards. The Eagles didn't even have 300 yards. You tell me that the Eagles are less than 100 yards or over 100 yards less than the Cowboys, and they win this game. I mean, I'm going to say, wow, that's tough. That's tough, man. Very weird game. Really no turnovers in this game. Man, oh man. What a game. What a game. Couple big plays is what it came down to. I honestly thought the Cowboys should have went for the field goal early in the fourth. Like I said earlier, they should have trimmed it to an 8-point game, but they did not. They tried to go for it, and you saw what happened. I mean, the play calling as well in the red zone. I mean, Brian Johnson made this other guy look like a rookie in terms of a play caller in the red zone. I mean, I don't know what the Cowboys were doing, like 2nd and 1, 3rd and 1. They're trying all these crazy things instead of just punching it forward. Man. Man, oh man. I know every Eagles fan, I know I can't be the only one, right? I can't be the only one out there that literally lost life over this game. That is what Philadelphia sports will do to you. That's what they do. That's what they do. Derek says, best team in the league. Mark says, as hard as they tried not to be, they are 8-1. Yeah, at the end of the day, they are 8-1. Before we get out of here, I want to ask the people out there, what do you think will be the Eagles' record over the next 4 games. What do you think the Eagles' record will be? Obviously, they have the bye coming up. Then they have a very tough 4-game stretch. If they go 2-2 on this stretch, I will be very happy. I think that if they go 2-2, I think there's a very good shot they get the number 1 seed. Right now, the Eagles, as bad as they looked at the end of that game, are still the best team in the NFL right now. I feel like there's been many games where we just come out here and we complain, but again, they are 8-1, and they need to get that number 1 seed. They need that bye. They showed how essential it was last year. Chiefs and Eagles, in my opinion, are the separators from the rest. Bills don't scare me right now. Niners look suspect. Chiefs and Eagles is where it's at. Could we potentially have a rematch in the Super Bowl? I mean, I'm looking at some of these other divisions. These teams look faulty. I'm just being honest. Anything can happen. Teams can get hot. But sheesh. So anyway, Chiefs, Bills, Niners, Cowboys. Actually, you know what? We'll do 5 games. We'll do 5 games. Chiefs, Bills, Niners, Cowboys, Seahawks. Predict the Eagles' record in the next 5 games. Predict over the next 5 games the record for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think if they go 3-2, I'm happy. They're going to lose some games, right? They're not most likely not going to win every single game. But if they go 3-2, I am happy. I am happy. Joe says Jalen doesn't run for first downs like he used to. Yeah, he is mobile and runs. Coaches want Hurts to fall and slide. Remember when Jalen would run in desperation? Yeah, that is true. He is definitely not nearly as mobile as he was before. And I still think Jalen, and now even more, is probably not going to run that much. I think he's dealing with some heavy injury, which does concern me a bit for the future. But that's where I'm at with it. What do you think the Eagles' record will be over the next 5 games? Give me your thoughts. CJ says 3-2. Mark says 3-2. Ryan Rose is 3-2. I think 3-2 is where it's at. I think if you get 3 out of the next 5, you're feeling very comfortable moving forward, trying to get that number 1 seed, and you're just feeling good at that point. Steven says, I'll tell you what, when I walk into work tomorrow in Texas, it's going to feel real good. Oh, man. Talk about bragging rights. They probably called out already. They said, nope, I'm done. I'm not going into work to face the Eagle fan. I love it. They will disappear. They will make every excuse in the book. They will not be there. Derek says, get healthy over the bye. Tighten up the mistakes on offense and defense. That's the hope. Derek says 5-0. Tony says 8-1. Another Chiefs and Eagles. We'll see, man. We will see. Pont says 3-2. You're riding big wheels. Derek says 5-0. Eddie says, who do you think is the best team in the AFC? I think the Chiefs. I would say Kansas City and the Eagles are probably the best 2 in the league right now. But every team to me has shown weaknesses. Every team has shown shakiness at points. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I think the next couple will be big tests. I'm not going to say they're end all be all. Like if the Eagles lose to the Chiefs, I'm not going to be, unless they get absolutely demolished. If the Eagles get demolished by the Chiefs or Buffalo, then I'm not going to be as happy. But if it's competitive, we'll see how the game kind of turns out. But man, what a game. Hard to put the words together to describe that game, but the Eagles end up winning 28-23. Joe says, how are the injuries? I'm hoping that we find out. We need some assurance because Bradbury's did not look good. He looked very, just woozy there. And then Dallas Goedert, his arm got twisted. He went walking back. So that probably is not good either. Eagles are going to need to get some of these guys healthy over the bye. So we will see, man. We will see. What a wild game. The Eagles win it 28-23 in one of the longest fourth quarters in NFL history. They are now 8-1. I mean, you go to the Super Bowl, usually you do not come back and go 8-1 the next season. Eagles have established dominance, but the eyes are on the prize, as we know. And it's only going to get tougher moving forward. So we need this bye. We need this bye. And I think it'll be very useful for this team, for the fans after this game. And hopefully they'll get things back polished on the right track. We'll see how it goes. Appreciate everybody for coming through, man. A to Z Philly Postgame Live. Hit the like button. Hit the share button. Come to the YouTube channel. Subscribe. Keep supporting the show on all platforms. That being said, man, appreciate everybody for coming through. And I will catch you all on the next one. Have a good night and a good rest of your weekend. Peace.